Hello, this is Mr. Nolan, and in this screencast, what I'd like to do is go ahead and show you how to use Microsoft Office 365. Office 365 is an awesome program. It uses the cloud. It's actually a suite of tools that you can use online. And what's great about Office 365 is that it makes it really, really easy to collaborate with other students or with teachers. You can submit assignments sometimes on Office 365 if your teacher lets you, or you can share with other students if you have a group project, something that you have to do in a class, and you can use this in any class that you want. Some classes you'll actually be expected to use this. So this is a pretty important program. It's a little bit like Google Docs, but in my opinion it's better in certain ways. So I'm going to show you how to use this. In this video, I'm going to show you how to log in to Office 365, which is surprisingly difficult for a lot of students. Students make a lot of mistakes within this part. So I'm going to show you how to log in Office 365. I'm also going to show you how to create a document. I'm going to show you how to share a document with somebody. I'm also going to show you how to access a shared document, and also how to edit a shared document. So I'm going to show you these things. A few notes before we continue. This is only a quick overview of Office 365. This is not exhaustive. I'm not showing you every last little trick and secret. I'm not covering every one here, really just for the sake of the time. Sometimes Office 365 seems to work better in certain browsers. So if you find it doesn't work in Firefox, try Chrome. Or if you find that Chrome doesn't work, try Internet Explorer. I don't usually have problems with Internet Explorer. It works pretty well there. And Office 365 takes some practice. You're not going to be able to use it perfectly like a pro the very first time you use it, so just be patient. If you ever forget how to do something, there's lots of help online, but this video in particular is just me showing you how do we use it at Dakota for logging in and getting our stuff done. So let's start off with how do you log in to Office 365. So I'm going to open up a window I've got ready here. So to log into 365, there's a few ways to get there. I'm going to show you what I think is the best fail-safe way. If you go to chippewaValleySchools.org, this is our home page. Click on Staff Links. Just because it says Staff Links doesn't mean that you can't use it. So if you click on Staff Links, it'll bring you to this page. It says For Staff. If you scroll down about 2/3 of the way down, you'll find Office 365 Login. You're going to click on that, and you're going to find this screen. Now, if you just Google Office 365 and you log in, you will log into the wrong place. So you have to actually go through Chippewa Valley Schools, click on Staff Links, and then click on Office 365. You'll find a pretty picture over here and these two little bars. Over here, you can type in with the same email that you use on your school computer. This is what you can use to log in. And then for the password, you're going to type in the same PIN number that you used to log into the computer at Dakota. That's how you're going to log into Office 365. Or you can actually type in your student ID. This number ought to be found on your ID card, and you're going to include @cvs.k12.mi.us. So these are the two ways that you can log in, either with your student username, with your email extension, or with your student ID number. And then that's how you, right here is what you type in to log into your computer. If you have succeeded in logging in, you should see this window. So now we've successfully logged in. So that was our first goal, is to be able to log in to Office 365. I'm also going to show you now how to create a document. So once you've logged into Office 365, you're going to see all these neat little gadgets and gizmos and tools. They might look a little different on your screen, but they're basically the same thing. There's your email, which you can click here. You can log into your email. There's a calendar app if you want to figure out how to use that. There's also some buttons here that you can click in order to create documents right away. I'll show you some of these later. But what we're interested in right now is OneDrive. OneDrive is how Office 365 saves your files in the cloud. You can even see the little picture of the cloud there. So when you click on OneDrive, you're going to see this window. It's going to say Files, OneDrive, Office 365. You should see your name over here. This is a list of files that I have created. This is my account. These are files that I have created. The first time that you log into Office 365, you're not going to see any of these. You might see one or two introductory files, but you're not going to see any files that you've created because you haven't created any. If you want to create a file, that's our goal that we're working on right now. Oops. All that you have to do is just go to Open, or I'm sorry. There we go. You want to click on this where it says New, and you should see a little drop-down menu. And it says Word document, Excel, PowerPoint. We saw those a minute ago. Right now, let's kind of pretend that we're going to create a Word document. So I'm going to click on Word. Hopefully this will load up pretty quickly. It's going to open up a window that is Word Online. And so one thing you have to understand about Word Online is that you're saving this to the cloud as you create it. So here this window has opened up. And the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a name. So I'm going to click up here where it says Document 5, and I'm going to write Example Document Screencast. Whatever. So that right away, that actually makes it a lot easier for me to find this document later. And what I can do down here is I can just begin typing my text. Right, I can type whatever I want. And so here's my document that I've created. Up here you'll find all the same tools that you can use in Word Offline. So Word Offline is what you use on your computer. If you go to your desktop and you open up the Word icon. But this is Word Online. And so some things you have to understand about this is that you're saving it as you type. As long as you see saved up here, you're golden. You're good. That means that it has saved. Even if your computer crashes right now and you open up Office 365 later, you will find this document all updated. So that's wonderful. If I wanted to save this, all I have to do is exit out of the screen. I just have to click X, and it should save as Example Document Screencast. If you want to pull this offline onto your computer so that you're not editing it online, you would click on File, and then Save As, and then you would save this to your computer, or to your thumb drive, or whatever. But you have to understand that if you do that, if I save this document off of Office 365, it will no longer save it as you type it, which means that if your computer did crash, you would lose all of your data. So we're just going to stay in Word Online right now. So that was our first part, was just how do you create a document. So great, we've created a document. Wonderful. Let's come back here. Oops. So here's my document. Let's say that I want to share this with somebody. If I want to share this with somebody, there's really two ways to do this. One way is that if you're in this file, I can click on Share. This little window will pop up, and I can invite people. In order to invite people, what you're going to do is you're going to type in their last name, and you have to spell it correctly. So let's say that I want to share something with Mr. Faunus. I'm going to type in his last name, comma, first name. If you don't know how to spell their first name, the little drop-down menu will at least bring up, any Faunuses that we have. And so there he is. There's Mr. Faunus. Let's say that I want to go ahead and I want to share this with another student that I had last year, Brianna Miller. Oops. If I type in her last name, Miller, you'll see a few Millers. Here's the one that I want, Brianna Miller. I'm going to click on Brianna. And so now if I click on Share, this document has just shared with both of these people. And so they can actually access that document. And I'll show you what that looks like in a moment. So now we've shared a document. I also want to show you how to access a shared document, and I'll show you another way to share a document while we're at it. Okay, so let's say that we're back here at our dashboard. I'm going to click on OneDrive. This is our files that we are going to open up with. If you're in Files and you want to share a file with somebody, let's say that I want to go ahead and share my example document screencast. You can see that document that I've created. Let's say that I wanted to share that with somebody from my file screen. I can click on this little lock here that says Only You. And this should bring up a similar screen to what we just saw a moment ago about sharing. So this little panel will open up. And I can scroll down here and it says Change Permissions. I can click on Change Permissions, Add People, and now the same screen will pop up, and I can share, let's say that I wanted to share this with Mrs. Hilker. There she is. So as long as I typed in her last name and spelled it correctly, you should find that person in the drop-down menu. I believe you can also type in their ID number, their student ID, or their email, and that should also show them here. And then I just have to click on Share. But anyway, let's get back to how to open a document that has been shared with me already. So over here on the left side, you will find Shared with Me over in these different little buttons. So I'm going to click on Shared with Me. And when I click on that, I'm going to open up this long window that I have. I've got lots and lots of documents that students have shared with me. And it will also show you who has modified it. If I want to go in and if I want to modify a document that someone has shared with me, I can just click right on that title. And if I click on this document that a student shared with me a few years ago, it should open up that window. And here it is. So this is a document that a student shared with me, but I can't edit it right now. You can maybe copy and then paste it into something, but you can't actually edit it. As long as you click here, you can. So again, I mentioned that you can pull a document off of the cloud onto your computer. I don't want to do that right now. So I'm going to click on Edit in Browser. If I click on Edit in Browser, this will actually let me edit this document online. So you can see how it's opening up Word online. Sometimes it might take a second to load up. But here it is. Here's the document. And even though Michael Catalina created this document a few years ago, he shared it with me and he gave me the right to edit it. So I can actually go in and I can edit this document. And if Michael were online and he had this document open, he and I could actually edit this at the same time. You would see a little cursor there that would say Michael, and he could type while I type. So you can have, 5 or 6 or 7 or a dozen students all editing the same document at the same time. This is really, really useful and something that Google Docs kind of lacks, that there's not as much streamline as far as multiple people editing the same document at the same time. So this will come in handy, especially if you and a friend are working next to each other in the computer lab. You can have the same document open and both be working on the same document. So I showed you how to access a shared document, and then as kind of a bonus, I also showed you a little bit about how to edit a shared document. Like I said, there is a lot of little tricks and hints and little fancy tips that you can learn and figure out how to use Office 365. The important thing is that you use it, and that you try to sort of get used to it. Create documents. You can create Excel files and Word files and PowerPoint presentations. One note before I forget here, some of the abilities that are up in this task pane are not the same for Windows Offline. Windows Offline works a little bit better, to be honest, but this, you still have most of the same tools. If you find that copying and pasting or the font control or something's a little off, that's probably just because it's the online version and it doesn't work exactly perfectly like the offline version. So it does take a little bit of getting used to in order to figure out sort of the differences and how to get this to work. So I hope that this was helpful and beneficial to you, this little tutorial in how to use Microsoft Office 365.